Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Friday as we look ahead to the 10 weather impact forecast here. Thank you for joining us on the 10 Weather Impact Show. I'm meteorologist Aaron White, and we have a lot to talk about in the forecast because we are tracking some more showers and storms developing this afternoon, and we're also looking ahead to some more chances as we head into next week, kind of turning into what could be sort of a rainy 7-day forecast here, as we'll have multiple rounds of showers and storms building through over the course of this afternoon and evening, and then more so as we head into next week. So right now, the weekend is looking to be mostly dry, so things are actually shaping up to be pretty good for the weekend. Now, temperatures are up into the 80s here this afternoon for most areas. We got 85 in Columbus. We're around 84 in Marion. We got 73 though for London and 76 in Dayton, because that's where we're tracking some showers and storms already developing and moving through here on the radar picture. So here's a live look here just at 2 p.m. We have some scattered showers from left over from some morning stuff this earlier today that we were tracking some showers and storms that moved through. Now still seeing some storms there just south and east of Cambridge, but watching some more storms developing now to the west of Columbus. We have some of that right over London, especially on the north side of town. Definitely some heavy downpours there along US Highway 40 and then crossing over Interstate 70 now. And then watching a larger complex of storms developing right now over Dayton, and this is going to be moving off towards the east-northeast, so this will be moving through central and southern Ohio as we continue on through this afternoon and evening. So do expect some rain, and this could have some impacts on the evening commute, so just be aware of that. Some heavy rainfall could lead to some ponding on the roads and potential for some hydroplaning as we go through this afternoon and evening. So that's what we're tracking. Not really looking at a great potential for any severe weather by any means, but the storms could still get strong enough that some gusty winds and of course heavy rainfall, that's going to be the main concern as we continue on through the rest of today before things do start to wind down as we get later into this evening and for the early part of tonight. But you can see over the last several hours starting to see some more green showing up here on the radar picture, those scattered showers developing and potential for some more thunderstorms as we continue on through the forecast. So here's a look at the hour by hour as we continue on through this afternoon. Scattered showers and a few storms developing right now. Going to continue through the 3 o'clock hour, moving through the metro as we get closer to about 4 p.m. and then more showers and storms continue through 5 o'clock this evening, and then we got some more storms all the way through 6, and then once we get to about 7 o'clock, a lot of the activity moving off into southern and southeastern Ohio. Jackson, MacArthur, Logan, up towards Athens, McConnellsville, and Cambridge likely going to still deal with some rain as we head through the 7 o'clock hour. After that, though, things are going to start to wind down, so by 10 p.m., most of us are looking dry. Could still see a few scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder overnight, but a lot of us are going to stay dry here for tonight. There will just be a few passing showers, and then by tomorrow morning and really for the most part our Saturday shaping up to be fairly dry, but there will likely be some scattered showers that could develop as we get into the evening hours here tomorrow. Not a lot showing up, but it will be something we'll watch here as we go through the day tomorrow. So just be aware of that if you have anything planned, if you're heading out to the Ohio State Fair this weekend. Mostly dry conditions are expected, but just have the umbrella and the poncho just on standby in case you have to use it. More than likely you won't, but you never know. You could just get a shower that develops right over the State Fair, and of course that'd be unfortunate, but it is a possibility here as we head through the forecast. Then as we continue on going into next week. So again, there could be a few scattered showers around here as we head into late Saturday night. Most of Sunday looking dry. We'll have some sunshine out there, and then we're going to see some systems building through as we head into next week. One coming in on Monday through Monday night into Tuesday. That could bring us some heavy rainfall. Another one coming in for Tuesday into Wednesday. Also potential for some heavy rainfall. And the chances continue Wednesday into Thursday. So a little bit more of what could be an active weather pattern setting up here through the 7-day forecast. And depending on how things play out, it could lead to some heavy rainfall here across Ohio. Anywhere you see purple, that's at least 1.5 inches of rainfall here through the next 7 days. So there is that potential that some areas will deal with some heavy rainfall here as we continue on through the 7-day forecast. And with some rain and then more rain in the forecast. There is always that chance we'll have to deal with some localized flooding in a few spots, but we'll be tracking that for you here as we continue on through the 10 weather impact forecast. So here's a look at the next 7 days. We got 84 for a high today. We're around in the mid 80s. We're already at 85. So mid 80s in the forecast here today. Tomorrow we'll still be in the mid 80s. We got upper 80s as we head towards the end of the weekend. Right now, Sunday looks to be the peak day of the weekend, mostly dry conditions. But as I said, Saturday, also looking mostly dry, a couple showers around early in the morning between about 4 to 8 a.m. and then the daytime really going to be dry until we get towards about, I would say, after 7 p.m. We could see a couple more scattered showers making their way through. So really the weekend, okay. Mid to upper 80s in the forecast, back to 88 for a high here on your Monday, but we are going to be watching some more showers and storms in the forecast Monday, more so late in the day, Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all showing those chances. And like I said, that could lead to some potential for heavy rainfall here as we continue on through the 7-day forecast. So again, we'll be watching that here, but right now focused on the storms that are developing for the rest of this afternoon. So we will be tracking that. Now, as we are talking about those warm temperatures and heat returning here through the weekend, if you need help staying cool from now through the end of the summer, 10 TV is always here to help. We're teaming up with the Fan and Life Care Alliance for our annual Beat the Heat Fan Drive. And next week, there's 2 fan distributions happening. The distributions are all at Life Care Alliance, Harmon Avenue location. There's one next Tuesday, August 11th, and another one on Thursday, the 13th. So you can stop by between the hours of 2 and 3 p.m. And for those of you looking to help a neighbor keep cool, you can donate a new box fan at any Franklin County fire station or make a donation through Life Care Alliance. All you have to do is just with every donation, they help keep Central Ohio families, seniors, and others in need during the hot summer months. All you have to do is text the word FAN, F-A-N, to 614-460-3345, and you can find out how to donate. Together we can help beat the heat here this summer. And moving on from our forecast and turning our attention back to the deadly wildfires out west. Those devastating wildfires in eastern Washington state could soon worsen, leaving firefighters battling the blazes, bracing for another dangerous weekend. Hot and dry weather ahead is driving that risk, and Sherelle Hubbard has more on when the weather is expected to make things harder and how first responders are reacting to the news.
3 major fires near Spokane have burned more than 10,000 acres, destroying hundreds of homes and other structures. And Washingtonians are not out of the woods yet. Crews now face rising temperatures and gusty winds that could spread flames and spark new blazes.
We're talking about 20 to 25 miles per hour, which may not seem all that much, but it is plenty in terms of taking those existing embers and spreading them rapidly throughout much of these areas.
Weather experts say winds are expected to pick back up Friday, along with fire danger, which will remain elevated through at least Saturday, with temps in the mid-90s expected. Fire crews in Washington state working tirelessly to contain destructive blazes in the Spokane area and making progress this week are now bracing for what's ahead.
Very concerned for the fire leadership that's out there. They want to get those containment lines in now before that wind hits.
Evacuation orders remain in place, with officials warning residents not to expect them to be lifted anytime soon.
I want our public to understand that those burn areas are absolutely not safe.
Some evacuees have learned the hard way.
When I saw billowing smoke from behind my neighbor's house, that's when I just went, I gotta just get what I can and hightail it out of there.
Some fear there may be no place to return home to.
I did grab, some important things, but not nearly enough that I would have grabbed if I would have realized we were going to lose everything.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
And of course, there's only so much people can do to cope with the devastation, but new video today shows a 4-legged friend is helping provide comfort to firefighters battling the Spokane area wildfires. 8-year-old Isaac is a golden retriever with Lutheran Church Charities Canine Comfort Dog Ministry. He and his handler Gary came out during the shift change to give firefighters some emotional support.
They are super excited, and some of them, they've been out on the fire line for a long time, all summer, and so when we They want to hug him, and when we say that, that we're going to be praying for them, usually that becomes pretty emotional.
And according to incident commanders, crews are making significant progress containing the fires that have forced around 67,000 people in the Spokane area to evacuate. Gary and Isaac have also spent several days at the evacuation center providing comfort to some of the fire victims. And any bit of support matters now more than ever, especially as residents are starting to return home to search through the rubble of their former lives. Brooke Griffin has that story from Spokane County.
Among the dozens of houses burned to the ground here in the Indian Trails neighborhood, there are victims who are coming to sort through what's left, and a lot of people who just want to see this damage for themselves. One couple we spoke with says they built this home in 1984 and lived there for 7 years. The couple lives up the street now after moving away years ago. They were both in shock looking at the pile of rubble, telling us there were so many happy memories here. Margot Verdon says this is going to take days or even months to process and years to come back from.
I know I feel kind of more emotional just at seeing it. It didn't seem like it could be real, and it is real. It's just real for all the people behind us.
Also showing up in this neighborhood are little cups of daisies with homemade messages of encouragement on them. Each driveway of a burned home has one. Dozens of them are spread through the neighborhood. Victims say it's a ray of color and hope among such destruction. And crews say, of course, they're worried about the next few days as the weather moves in. They say it's going to be hot and windy, but they're as prepared as possible and have even more crews coming in over the next few days. In Spokane, Brooke Griffin, KIRO 7 News.
And continuing our fire coverage now, we've been telling you all about just the fires that have been hitting parts of the West Coast, and just one state experiencing these fires, but numerous devastating fires are ongoing across the western U.S. as well. And sadly now, the Gan fire in California has appeared to turn deadly. Connor McGill has that story from Calaveras County.
Well, we're learning more from a neighbor who lives along Hakima Drive, an area where investigators found a body in a home that burned down in the burn scar of the Gan fire. While officials have not yet officially identified the victim, neighbor Joan Wilson believes it was her friend Susan Solari. Wilson says Solari was a longtime dog breeder who was active in the American Kennel Club and was well known for showing German Shepherds. She describes Solari as someone with a big heart who is also strong-willed. Wilson says neighbors urged Solari to evacuate as the fire moved closer, but she refused to leave. Wilson said her last conversation with Solari was Tuesday.
She told me about my house, and she told me that Sue had passed, and it was kind of surreal because I had just spoken to her on Tuesday at about 11:53 a.m. and she was screaming and yelling at me that no, she wasn't going to evacuate, and there was fire all around, and where are they, where are they, where are the, I think she was saying, where are the fire trucks?
And Wilson says that's a conversation she'll never forget. She hopes this story will remind communities dealing with wildfires to take evacuation orders seriously.
And now we're going to turn to some news about our environment as we look ahead to winter. You may want to get ready for the season just with some contrast, and that's if you believe the Farmer's Almanac. It's forecasting more precipitation than usual this winter for most of the country. The more than 200-year-old prediction model calls for mostly normal temperatures, interrupted by bursts of cold and snow and ice, of course. But how does this all... How do they really know all of this? And no one really knows, of course. Winter is always unpredictable. The Almanac claims it uses things like sunspot cycles and lunar position to make its predictions, but it's never released the exact methodology. The publication also says its forecasts are 80 to 85% accurate. Researchers say that it's a bit of an exaggeration and it's more likely about 50%. Meteorologists point out the Almanac's forecast is so vague, it's very difficult to prove or disprove the accuracy itself. And know, when sometimes they say things like it's going to be cold and snowy, well, that's pretty much a given around wintertime here in the Midwest. So we'll be looking at that. And of course, one of the things that's going to be playing into that is El Nino. And one thing that is seeming a little bit more certain is the coming extreme El Nino forecast. A new warning from one of the world's most respected weather forecasters. This year's El Nino could be one of the most intense on record in parts of the West Coast in California. CBS LA Tom Waite is in Long Beach with more from climate scientists and concerns from residents along the coast.
In Long Beach, the beefy berm used to shield homes from this summer's king tides is standing strong. And if it's kept in place, it may be tested in the months to come. One of the world's most renowned forecasters is warning this year's El Nino could be one of the wettest on record for California.
I would be concerned about it just because if that's what's happening now, El Nino obviously has more of a climatic effect.
Robert Morell lives near the beach. He says the recent king tides are raising some alarm bells among longtime residents.
We've only been here for 2 years living here. We've talked to a lot of people that have lived here a lot longer. They do happen sporadically, but it seems to have occurred multiple times this last year.
Predictions of an extreme El Nino have been on the radar, but now we're hearing the warning from the European Center for Medium-Range Weather Forecasts, the planet's gold standard for weather prediction. Weather and climate scientist Daniel Swain, who is also with California Institute for Water Resources, says this about the latest European model prediction is genuinely extraordinary from extreme El Nino perspective. One implication, it is now indicating not only 70 to 100% odds of above average winter precipitation California-wide, but also 70 to 100% odds of December through February being among the top 20% of wettest California winters. For those who live and work near the beach, they've seen how climate change impacts the coast, the recent king tides, and the real threat of flooding has residents taking the El Nino forecast seriously.
This year we're seeing more times that they've had to build the berms up and the water's come across into the alleyways of some of the houses here.
And finally today, we want to check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. And first out, check out this, a deluge of 90,000 rubber ducks poured out of a truck into the Chicago River on Thursday and then bobbed along a stretch of the skyscraper-lined river in the annual Chicago Ducky Derby that raises thousands of dollars for a charity. The truck dumped the ducks along one side of a half-raised bridge after forming a yellow pool in the river. The ducks floated along for about 15 minutes before a winner and runner-up were plucked from the water. The annual event, a fundraiser for Special Olympics in Illinois, draws thousands of participants, and it costs $10 to sponsor a lone duck, which will feed an athlete lunch at a competition, and $30 for a quack pack of 6 ducks, which supplies gold medals for a team. The competition has raised more than $480,000, and the sponsor of the fastest duck wins an SUV, and the runner-up will win $2,500 in cash, said Pete Beal, the president of the Special Olympics there in Illinois. So always cool to see that, those ducks there in the Chicago River. And finally today, Cincinnati Animal Care, an animal shelter in Hamilton County, shared heartwarming videos of Gelato, the cat's journey to walking on its own again. Since Gelato was too small for any of the wheelchairs, Mallory, an employee at Cincinnati Animal Care, made Gelato a costume contraption with cardboard, rulers, Hot Wheels, and tape. Thanks to Mallory, Gelato is getting stronger every day, and the shelter also just launched a medical fundraiser for our shelter with t-shirts featuring Gelato, crafted by a local artist, and you can find more details about that on their website. So really cool that Gelato's moving along there and getting better. And as we talk about our forecast here before we go one more time, just looking at the radar again, we are watching some showers and storms developing here in central and western parts of Ohio. These are going to be moving through as we continue on through the rest of this afternoon. And coming up later on this afternoon, Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer will be in to track those showers and storms and have a look at the latest forecast as we're tracking additional chances for rain as we head into next week. So until then, you can catch morning news and weather online at TV.com.